No, I'll do the welcoming, and then I'll share the program, and then I'll call you up. I'll go ahead and. Half a day in Manana Situas. Many of God's blessings to each and every one of you here this morning, especially as we celebrate Holy Week for the upcoming Easter celebration. We want to welcome each and every one of you here in your Guam Congress building. Joining me, ladies and gentlemen, this morning is Senator Joe San Augustine and Senator and former Vice Speaker Senator Therese Terlahi, who has blessed us with their presence this morning. It is truly an honor and a great pleasure, and I take pride in welcoming our friends and family for this and collaborative partners. And I understand some of our Youth Congress members are here, and most especially citizens with varying disabilities who are here today for the opening of Do You See Me? Exploring Stigma Through the Eyes of Persons with Disability photography exhibit. And before I go further, we are going to have a little program. I will call up Acting Executive Director Monica Limtiaco in a few minutes for opening remarks. I do understand that the Humanities Council member will speak, and also a humanities expert, Dr. Kirk Johnson, will also speak before our exhibit opens. And I just want to thank each and every one of you for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, the pieces you will see today are works of artists with unique challenges and strengths who have come together to help generate a wider community conversation and a deeper engagement with our work on diversity. The months of March through May of 2019 is a very busy time for our disability community. We have celebrated the month of March as the Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month, World Down Syndrome Day, Autism Awareness Month, and in May, we will celebrate Mental Health Awareness Month, as well as Guma Mami's 37 years of community service to our island. And I want to share with you why is this photography exhibit especially beneficial here. It is beneficial here because through the photography and the poetry written, we will be able to reflect on important issues facing the community and the beauty witnessed through the eyes of persons with disabilities. In our times of modernization and charting the course of our island, the voices of all our people truly matter. It is our hope that as people enter our doors, you will be able to connect or somehow be moved through the genuineness of this exhibit, or perhaps see through a different lens. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we have various artists here. And I want to know that I see some of our great artisans here this morning. And there's some who could not make it. And we want to share an undanklu na si Zeus Maasi and thank you to Gina Arca, Trisha Atoigui, Silvestri San Nicholas, Bo Rengelbai, Joanne Waniza, Dennis Black, Castino Soul, Roseanne Pangilinan, Tom Menglotnya, Megan Boswell, and Robin Paris. Thank you for your inspiration and thank you for your societal contribution. I also would like to take this time to thank Humanities Council Dr. Kimberly Kahiling, who unfortunately could not be here this morning, but Miss Bernice Santiago is here on her behalf, si Diyos Masi. Also, Guma Mami, our humanities, Guma Mami is also in the house. Our humanities expert, Dr. Kirk Johnson from the University of Guam. Thank you so much for being here. Mr. Brian Muña and Via Defont, who I think unfortunately could not be here but I want to share with you that in the creative landscape, to engage in the reflection and the exchanging of ideas through the use of photography and poetry and the important issues faced by persons with disabilities, I'd like for each and every one of you, especially the families of the artisans that are here and the artists themselves, to please give them and yourselves a round of applause for continuing to advocate in projects like this. If I could have some of the board members, Ms. Angela, please join us up here. And before I call Ms. Monica up, again, I would like to thank my colleagues for being here because it truly is a blessing. And if you'd like to say a few words, you're more than welcome to do so. Yeah. And I want to invite all the family and friends listening. As you know, this is televised, and all your artwork will be displayed here in your Congress building for 1 week. And I will have Ms. Monica Limtiaco share how the exhibit works and how we can work with the reflection on each of the artisans' artwork and how they can work with the conversation of that. So again, if I may, can we help welcome the acting executive director for Guma Mami, Ms. Monica Flores Limtiaco. Give her a round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker, and of course, Senators. Really, I'm going to try my best. I actually composed something on writing, but sometimes it doesn't come out the way it does, and sometimes I get very passionate about the work that we do in the field of disabilities. Thank you again for bringing us to this home. We are truly at home today, especially because we have families that are here, we have friends, we have persons with disabilities. But we come here as a community together to witness our exhibit, to hear the voices, and to really say, do you see me? Do you see me? On behalf of our board of directors, we are grateful for this opportunity to be of service to you through the eyes of the individuals that we support. Guma Mami has been in existence for 37 years. We have provided housing, case management, drop-in center services, and a variety of other services that that's unlisted here. I apologize that our executive director, Sam, is off island, but he too is on a journey because he's also learning about how to provide training for individuals who have been sexually assaulted. So the work at Guma Mami is just incredible in terms of the things that we are here to do. In our line of work, we provide not only services for individuals, but we provide services also for individuals who are at risk of homelessness or are homeless. But we also provide services for individuals who are survivors of domestic violence as well, who are individuals with disabilities. It has been nearly 20 years that this organization has coordinated the art exhibit. And I cannot be remiss if I did not announce Peter, our executive director previously, Peter Blas, who is here in the room. I think it's important to bring that aspect here because he started the exhibit 20 years ago to this date. Thank you for that. But also, this exhibit would not have been made possible through the continual growth of the organization. We've worked with many partners to make the exhibit successful. In the past, we've worked with the Guam Humanities Council, the Bank of Guam, Guam PDN. We've worked with many people, KPRG. We've worked with the legislature in many attempts to bring this project to light. But also, I'm glad to share that our board member is also the Speaker of was also one of the board members is the Speaker of the House. And I think that's important to note because the voices can be heard throughout this Congress. In 2018, the organization wanted to do something a little bit different with the art exhibit. We just didn't want to do advocacy, awareness. We wanted to expand out and use the power of humanities to provide a reflective platform to celebrate our diversity, to celebrate and capture a glimpse of the lives of individuals with disabilities through the creative power of photography and poetry. Through the collaboration of the Humanities Guahan, Gumamami has received this grant, Do You See Me? Exploring stigma through the eyes of persons with disabilities. We've conducted poetry workshops, photography workshops, and this exhibit has traveled to the Agana Shopping Center, where over 200 people had attended. The exhibit also went to the social work conference, where many of our social workers, professionals, individuals in the field have also seen the exhibit. Today, it is in our Congress building. And it's important to note, because through this process, change is evident. The transformation of lives are possible. We are here because we have a voice. We have a dream. We have our parents, our staff, our senators, our government behind this work. We have service providers here too. Our targeted audience for this ranges from educators, students. That's why you're here, kids. Our future government, our future leaders. We want to impact change. We hope that our project will provide a space to sharpen one's compassion, ethical reasoning, and a deep sense of empathy of persons with disabilities and families and what they face day in and day out. The most fundamental need of this project really is to hone into the fullness of humanity. As you experience the exhibit today, please, there are comment cards outside. There are questions formalized by our core team. And we thank also Dr. Johnson for helping in that process. As you reflect today, we ask you to think about 4 questions. Consider what you feel as you reflect on each piece and what it might mean to be a photographer. As you explore this exhibit, reflect on what you see through the eyes and the lens of our photographers. What do the words choice and photographers in these poems reveal about the poet's perspective of the world around them? What can we gain from seeing a world from the perspectives of these artists? I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge the support of Dr. Johnson, who has thoughtfully prepared and worked with our core team to bring the deeper meaning of this project. We will later hear from Dr. Johnson, our humanities expert, who has assisted us through this project. Dr. Johnson is the professor of sociology at the University of Guam. He's published numerous books, journal articles, and has participated in over 35 conferences. The areas of development, social change, religion, education, human ecology, and sustainability are some of the topical areas of his interest. Dr. Johnson's ongoing work in the Pacific Asian region has allowed him to learn firsthand about the processes of community development and the capacity of the grassroots in many different settings. And Gumamami is a grassroots organization. However, I would also like to thank Ms. Bernice Santiago, who will speak on behalf of the Humanities Council, Guahan Humanities. Please forgive me for that. Humanities Guahan has been very generous in providing Gumamami the financial support to make the Do You See Me project come to fruition. I would also like to share that Humanities Guahan is a federally funded, recognized nonprofit organization affiliated with the National Endowment for the Humanities, an independent federal agency dedicated to promoting humanities programming for people on Guam, providing foundational support and educational resources. Without further ado, I'd like to welcome Ms. Bernice Santiago.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for inviting us. I'm Bernice Santiago. I'm the Grants Administrator and a Program and Communications Coordinator for Humanities Guahan. Kimberly Keeling, our Executive Director, apologizes. She's ill at home in bed. She wanted to be here today. At Humanities Guahan, we present public humanities programs, and in partnership with the National Endowment for the Humanities, we support nonprofits who offer public humanities programs for our community with grant funding. These projects encourage people to learn about, think about, and talk about issues that are important to us all. We were so pleased to award a 2018 community grant for Gumamami's project, Do You See Me? Exploring Stigma Through the Eyes of Persons with Disabilities, and to see this project come to fruition over the course of this past year. We have a complex and diverse island community, and the people who are the most vulnerable in this community are the people whose voices aren't often heard. They are the most vulnerable to being misunderstood, to being subject to stigma and dehumanization, and to bearing all the ill effects of incomplete understanding or misunderstanding from members of the public. Gumamami's project, Do You See Me, is at its heart about the creative empowerment of voice, employing photography and poetry workshops to encourage persons with disabilities to explore their own perspectives and their own complexity, and to share those perspectives with us. In that sharing, this project asks us, as members of the public, to think more deeply about our own perspectives and perceptions. It has been such a pleasure to work with Project Director Monica Limtiaco throughout this past year, and to see the incredibly hard work and enthusiasm and passion for this project from Monica, from Executive Director Sam Ilsugam, and the Gumamami staff, everyone on the project team, including project scholar Kirk Johnson, former Humanities Guahan board member Paul Bloss, photography instructor Brian Muña, and poetry instructor Via Defont, and especially from the photographers and poets in this exhibit. Thank you so much for sharing your hearts and your thoughts with us through your work. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Bernice. Dr. Johnson, would you care to give a few remarks?
Hafaday. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Are you feeling the great warmth in this room? We feel so welcome to be coming here from such diverse backgrounds and to be so warmly embraced by our government leaders, and really we feel so at home. Thank you for such a warm welcome and embrace. As we know, the name of our island, Guahan, means we have. And indeed, today we can see that we have so much to be grateful for. One of the strengths of our community is our diversity. Our unity lies in our diversity. And as we begin this very precious Holy Week, leading up to this very important day of Easter, we can take great pride in the fact that the spiritual health of a community can be measured in its inclusivity. And to begin this week in this building with this warm embrace says volumes, speaks volumes to the spiritual health of this community of Guam. This idea of inclusivity is so critical to an understanding of how a community develops and evolves. And it's incredible to see our community on Guam embrace people from such diverse backgrounds. There aren't any people in this community in the shadows. The title of this exhibit is, "Do You See Me?" I think we've answered that question here this morning. That the community of Guam, the leadership of Guam, the families of Guam indeed see the community members, our families that are such a big part of our lives. I can't thank Monica enough for her leadership in this entire process, for the support of so many people throughout the island. Two people who aren't here, I don't think, today, are really critical to this process, and that is Via and Brian. These are two young people. Brian works at GCC, and Via works at the University of Guam. And these people did incredible work bringing these workshops together and allowing these friends of ours, these community members of ours, to really think and explore their creative side through photography and poetry. It's incredible that the government of Guam has welcomed this exhibit in the foyer here of the Guam Congress Building for a whole week. And we want to invite all the people of Guam to come down here, bring your children and your family members, your neighbors, come down here and view. If you've never been to this building, now's an opportunity to come. Come here, view this exhibit, and really be part of this very important story. Thank you.
Okay, with the permission of Speaker Tina, she asked that I go ahead and close out. And also because we want to celebrate the exhibit now. So if you don't mind, we can all proceed outside to view the exhibit.
Have them wait so we can take a photo with
But-
the senators and all of them.
But we also need to take a photo. Okay, for 2 minutes. We'll just have everybody stay there, and then we'll come to you.
Thank you. Thank you so very much for coming in. Happy Easter, everybody. Let's give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you.